What if you chose to be brave today and fully own your worth? Own your worth. We hear this phrase so often in women's spiritual circles that it can feel trite, almost like a cliche. But I believe it's one of the most profound truths and one of the biggest blocks for women. Why? Because women have been conditioned to feel less than. They don't know how worthy they truly are. They're afraid to take up space. They think that their voices don't matter. They apologize for overstepping, for taking too much, for simply existing. Women don't think that it matters if they show up. And when you think that you don't matter, you are disconnected from your power. Now, I believe that this wasn't accidental. Women not feeling worthy wasn't just something that happened. It was a deliberate design of the system. Because when women don't own their worth, they're powerless. But here's the truth. We hold all the power. Think about it. Women literally have the power to create life. Now, how miraculous are our bodies? How awe-inspiring is it that we carry the ability to bring new life into the world? When you really understand who we are as women, it's impossible to deny our inherent worth. Now, I see this all the time in my work when I'm coaching women to step into their power as facilitators and start leading women's circles. They learn the structure, they practice, and yet they still feel unworthy to lead. Why? Because deep down they've been conditioned to believe that something is inherently wrong with them. This conditioning runs so deep. It's rooted in patriarchy, a system that has historically diminished women's roles and voices. For thousands of years, patriarchal systems have upheld the belief that men are superior to women. These systems defined roles, laws, and societal norms that limited women's autonomy, freedom, and worth. Women were told their value lay in their ability to serve others as wives, mothers, caretakers, and not in their individual dreams, desires, or potential. The story of Adam and Eve is a perfect example of this conditioning. Eve's role as the one who tempted Adam into sin has been used to justify the belief that women are inherently flawed, untrustworthy, and less deserving of authority. This story, whether we interpret it literally or metaphorically, has been deeply embedded in our cultural consciousness, perpetuating shame and guilt for simply being born female. Even the term patriarchy itself comes from the Greek word patria, meaning rule of the father. It reflects a system where power, leadership, and decision-making are concentrated in male hands, leaving women marginalized and voiceless. And this system doesn't just shape laws and institutions, it seeps into our relationships, our self-perceptions, and the way we move through the world. The result? Generations of women have internalized the belief that they are too much or not enough. And breaking free from this conditioning requires deep, intentional work. In 2013, I believed that my worth was tied to my business. I was a successful CEO, and that's where I thought my value came from. Then I went through my dark night of the soul. And at the core of that journey was a question I couldn't escape. If I am doing nothing, do I exist? So I let go of my business, and my ego took a massive hit as I stripped away the layers of roles, titles, and accolades that I had clung to. I didn't know how I would make money, but it continued to show up. I didn't know who I was without the labels I had used to define myself. And in that free fall, I found something extraordinary. nothingness. I realized I'm alive and I'm real. I have a right to be here, and that's just how it is. In the being, I realized that I exist. I am still powerful. And from that place of being, I understood that I could create anything I desired. For the first time, my sense of self-worth wasn't tied to money, roles, or accomplishments. It came from owning that I am worthy simply because I was born, because I'm here on this planet at this moment in time. Nothing else is needed, nothing to prove, nothing to do, just being here as me. This is the lesson for women: to get to nothing, to strip away all the layers of conditioning, expectations, and self-doubt, to let go of the need to earn or to justify your worth, to stop looking outside of yourself for validation. Your worth doesn't come from what you do, what you achieve, or how much you give. It's your birthright. So, brave woman, where in your life are you still trying to prove your worth? And what would it look like to simply be, to know in your core that you are enough? So, brave woman, what if you chose to be brave today? What if you stopped apologizing for your existence and stood fully in your worth? You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove it. You already are it. The choice is yours. Be brave and own your worth.